Hello guys, it's King of the Loser here. I'm going to show you how to get rich on the different type. In the previous video I showed you how you can get rich on dailies, but this video I'm going to show you how you can get rich on crafting wise. There's different types of crafting wise, of course you can do it. I'm going to show you different ways. First of all, I'm going to show you the biochem one. Basically, if you're a biochem, you can't craft too much, and basically that's the one who basically can craft middle stuff. As you can see, if you learn all of it, if you're 55 or not 55 but at least receive 450 of all of the skills on biochem, basically you can craft stems, adrenals and stuffs like that. You can sell those, but not that much of a money. But if you go to raids and learn some of the big implants and stuffs like that, you have the chance to make right money. For example, this is the server where I am. It's called Net. This is where I am. This is what I'm gonna show on money wise. For example, let's go see one. So for example, here is some of the implants, the Dread Forged. As you can see here, it's around 3 million on this server, but I don't know about your server. I don't know where you at, but basically if you are a biochem and you are going to raids, nightmare modes or anything, you have a really good chance to sell these. As you can see, the underworld here as well have a decent money as well, 1.6 million, but you need to be careful about this. I'm gonna show you why. So I'm gonna show you what mats do you need. Of course you need 2 mass manipulator generator, 8 vial of stabilized isotope 5 and 8 exotic element equalizer for each of these stuffs, and of course the basics, the basic materials what you need. And you need to be careful for that, because actually I'm gonna tell you on a different way, but the implants are actually good money making. If you have the mats and have the effort, just try to craft some of them. Maybe some of them give you the mats and get some free for that. For example, 300 and 400k, which is a not bad money for biochem if you are a biochem. Okay, so let's talk about another one. Let's talk about Synthweaver. Synthweaver is one of the easiest and one of the hardest one to make money. Synthweavers basically can't learn too much. Maybe if you are gonna learn the whole set what you receive, no one is gonna buy that, trust me. But basically the only way Synthweavers can craft and receive some money is the augments, the simple augments, and of course the augmentation kits. The augmentation kits are a really good money, but I'm going to talk about that later. Let's talk about the augments now. Basically, Synthweavers can craft Might Augment, Resolve Augment, Command Augment, and Alacrity Augment. Alacrity Augment. Basically, the Command Augment is really useless, so I'm gonna put that out of the list. But let's talk about the others. Let's talk about, for example, the Might one. The Might one, if you're looking at the GTN right now, this is my server. I don't know about your server. I'm gonna tell you again, and I'm not gonna tell you anymore. Basically, the Might Augment 28 here is 86k per each, which is basically, if you have a time and effort, and maybe if you're lucky and on the underworld trading you receive some thermal regulators for free, it's basically you need 4 for that. You can craft it because that's the really high material you need. The others are really easy to get. But let's see the thermal regulator, if it's worth it. So the thermal regulator here is almost 18k each. 18k each, which almost means 70k if you're buying 4. So that's 70, it's almost like the same profit if you can. But let's see the others. That was the might augment. Let's see the other, resolve augment. Let's see that. The resolve augment here is 72k. That's really not worth it as well. Okay, let's see the last one, alacrity. Well, the alacrity one is 94k, which is now not bad deal. If you craft the alacrity and some of, I don't know if actually someone need that. Maybe someone need that if someone have less alacrity. But if someone needs it, it's worth it now, because if you're crafting it, you're crafting the thermals for 60k, and if you're buying the mats, whatever, that's probably 60k or less, and you will receive a 40k profit. And if you're selling more, for example, you're selling 7 of them for the 40k profit, that means you get 280k for profit, which is not bad. You can buy even more thermal regulators and stuff like that. You can definitely have some profit for that. Even for the might one and the resolve one as well. You can get some of the profits for that if you're Synthweaver, or of course, yeah, Synthweaver, because the Synthweaver can craft these only. But at least you can get some of the profits. Not much for the might and the resolve, because a lot of people need that. But that's even more profit if you really want that. Of course, you need to buy the schematic if you didn't find it yet, but that's really easy, of 500 or 600 credits, which is a really pathetic one. Alright, let's see another crafting skill. Let's talk about armor mech right now. Armor mech goes the same. For the armor mech can craft MK9 as well. I'm gonna talk about the kits and stuff like that on the last one. But for now, let's talk about armor mech. Armor mech can craft skill augment, reflex augment, absorb, and shield augment. Both of those are not that worth much, but let's see on the GTM wise. So as you can see on this server, the absorb augment is 72k, which is, it gives you like a 10k, 12k profit for that, which is a decent money as well. But if you want more, you need to get more, and that's why you need to go to the reflex and the skill one. The reflex one, as you can see, is now almost 75k, which is not bad at all. And a lot of people, if there is a commando or trooper, or it's the same, commando trooper, so if there's a vanguard or commando, whatever, a lot of people need it. So it's definitely worth a buy and trying to sell those. Even some guys need the absorb augments as now. Well, I'm not sure about that, but reflex and skill one definitely worth it. 75k. If you're buying the mats or receive it, that's if you receive it, that's a really good money price. Really good money price. If you're buying the mats, so for example the thermal regulator, that's almost like a 15k profit. So that means if you're selling 7 of them, for example, that gives you 100k credits plus, which is a decent money. I know you can get almost rich from that, but it's a really decent money starting at the beginning to get more money. And let's talk about skill augments right now. The skill augments is one of the best ones. It's still 75k, but still a lot of scoundrels and gunslingers going around in the SWTOR universe, so it's definitely worth it. Goes the same, so you can get at least 100k plus if you're selling 7 of them. If you're selling even more, that's even more money. It's your decision. And if it's crit, that's really better as well. A lot of people need it. You need probably some time and effort to doing that, but it takes time. It takes time to sell these, but you need to get patience and you will receive the money. Same goes to the shield augments as well. The shield augments is 75k. If you're selling 7 of them, that's almost still 100k. But that augment is not one of the best ones, so try not to in my opinion, try not to sell that much. Instead, if you are an armor mech trying to sell the skill and the reflex augments, it's definitely worth it, and even more people is gonna buy that. Let's talk about the last one. It's arm stack for here. Arm stack goes the same, except arm stack can craft the barrels. Barrels is one of the good ones you can sell with the hilts, but I'm gonna talk to that a little bit later. Let's talk about what I missed a lot. It's the skill augments. I mean, not the skill, the augmentation kits, I mean, sorry. Let's talk about the augmentation kits. The augmentation kits basically is a lot of work, a lot of hard work, but it's worth a little bit. This is the mats what you need for that, for the augmentation kit MK9. It's basically a lot of people want that. If there is a lot of people going to 55, as goes the same right now, and it's definitely worth it. The augmentation slot components is the hard one, because you definitely need at least of your materials, you need 6 and 4 and 2 for I mean 4 for some of these mains, and even vice versa is for example here I'm going to show you one of them. For example, this blaster rifle, it needs 6 Mithra and 4 Terradium and 2 this Trichoper Flux, whatever the name is. And basically, if you trying to craft these right now, you need at least 99 Mithra and 99 Terradium for craft at least 10. If I give you an advice, if you have something else, like for example, I don't know, a biocam or an artifice or anything else, try not to try looking the mats what is the cheapest ones. Let's look at the Mithra light right now. All right, let's look at this one. The Mithra here is, let's see, 99. If there is 99 or 24, that's not bad for 21k as well. Or here you go, 25 for 35k. But there is a lot of more, 65k, 92 for 86k, which is also a good one. So you need to look these and try not to try to get at least down to 50k or 60k for these main crafting materials. So for example, this Mithra is not that bad, but let's see Terradium. If there is anything bad, where is Terradium? Terradium, here you are. Terradium, let's see Terradium. Terradium is pretty decent. That's 60k for 60. 75k for 50, that's a little overpriced, but here you are 99 for 100k. So that means if you crafting these, you need to waste 200k plus money for that, and you have the chance to craft at least 2 or 3. Let's see if it's worth it. You wasted over 200k plus for the mats. Let's see if it's worth it. If you get 99 for both of those, for example Terradium and Mithra, I'm talking about that right now. Let's see if it's worth a buy for those mats. No, because it's 51k each. If you're selling 3 of them, that's 150k profit. And if you have the chance and the luck to crit it, then you receive your profit back. But that's not worth it. If you have the luck and have the time and effort to go to Macab, get some of the new materials, trying to grind them, or even doing some missions, then you have some of them, you receive some of them, and you can craft it for free, and that's definitely a 50k profit. But you need to search for other, if you have other crafting skills like artifice or anything you can craft, and when you RE it, you receive an MK9 augmentation component. Then, if it's less than 100k to buying those two for, I don't know, 99 and 99 each, then you have a good profit for that. But you need to be careful definitely for that, because it's a really hard price. Alright, let's talk about another one. Let's talk about the barrel. Let's see itself the skill barrel. How much is that? The skill barrel here is 1.6 million. Yeah, something like that. 1.6 million. Do you think that's worth to selling it and crafting it if you have the time? No. I'm gonna show you why. If you don't have materials and you wanna buy it, and this is just an advice. If you have the mats for free for operations or anywhere else, you have the mats, so you didn't buy it, just have the mats, and you have the schematic for this, and you learn this, then that's a good profit. Then it's a really easy one. But if you don't have the materials, you want to buy the materials for that and crafting it for yourself, I mean for selling it, that's not worth it. I'm going to show you why. Let's see the materials. I talked about it before. Let's see if it's worth it. The mass manipulator in this server is 440k. If you're buying that, which you need two of them, that's almost 900k. We are still at profit if you're selling it, but let's see the others. If you buying the exotic elements equalizers, which is each like 40k, if you're buying all these, that's almost 300k, maybe less than 300k. Now you have 1.1 million, which is still a profit, but here's the catch. Let's see the last one, the vial itself. The vial isotope 5, which is 100k, almost 95k each. If you're buying 8 of them, that's 800k, which you at 1.9 million credits, you buy, and you're selling it for 1.6. That's 300k loss. But there is a chance you can get some good profit for that barrels. If you have the time and effort to go to flashpoints, go to some of the flashpoints, whatever flashpoint you want to do, or some of the daily areas and some of the stuffs, you can get basic commendations. And the basic commendations, you need to get 35. You need to get 35 commendations, basic commendations, to buy a vial isotope 5. And if you have the time and effort enough to get at least 8, to get enough basic commendations, I mean, to get to buy 8 of those vial isotope 5s, then that 800k goes down, which you have 1.1 million credits. Now you can craft that and you will receive a 500k profit, which is not that bad money. Let's see the other one. Let's see this. We saw the skill. Let's see the reflex barrel 34. Let's see that price. The skill mill price is now on almost 2 million credits. Now this is a good one. This is a really good price. If you're doing what I said before, the materials and stuff like that, you will still have 1.8 million, and you can sell it on 1.9 million, which is 100k profit. But if you have some of those, maybe the mass manipulators or the exotics or some stuffs like that, you can get even more profit. Let's see some other ways. If you have, for example, the 2 mass manipulators, that's 100k less. So that means you are at 1.1 million. That's almost the same as goes to the vial. So if you have some of those mass manipulators, that's 800k, almost 900k less, which is you have 1 million to buy all of the other materials and sell it for almost 2 million. That's almost a 1 million profit, which is a really good price, am I right? And all you need to do is crafting it, trying to put it on the GTN, and maybe you can get recognized, and maybe some of the people wants to simply crafting you, but be careful for that. You need to watch for the crafting fee. The crafting fee is one of the stuffs you some of the peoples can afford. If some of the peoples have the time and afford to give you the materials and get some free, trying to be careful for that. Don't try to ask too much of a fee, because if you have the materials, you have the chance to credit, and if it's credit, then you have a free reflex barrel or skill barrel, and you can sell it, and that's 1 point or almost 2 million credits free, and you receive the free critical. So that's a really easy one. So trying to not to be careful. For mine, for example, it's like 230k between, depends on the item itself. But on this one, the arm stack, that's all I can show you. And of course, let's talk about the augments, which I put it on the end. The arm stack can craft overkill, fortitude, critical, surge, and accuracy. So the arm stack can craft 5. Let's see if it's worth it to buy. I talked about this thermal regulator stuff before, but let's see the overkill augments, for example. So the overkill is one of the best ones. A lot of people, seriously, a lot of people buying that. 75k in this car GTM. If you're getting that for 60k as usual, 15k for the profit. And that means if you're selling 7 of them, that's 100k, and you can get more, even more, and maybe some of the people can recognize with you and asking to craft it, and the crits, you can sell it for free. Let's see the other one, the fortitude. The fortitude augment is one of the best ones also. The fortitude, of course, is for tanks. A lot of people buying it, especially tanks. How ironic. And it sells on this GTN 84k, which is a really good price, because if you're selling it at 60k, I mean, you get the thermals for 60k, and you're selling it, for example, for 84k, is almost 25k. And if you're selling 7 of them, that's 175k credits, which is not that bad at all. All you need to do here is be patient. That's another thing, how you can craft some of these. Alright, let's see the critical augments. Critical augments is the best selling price at the moment on the GTN. You can sell 100k each, which is basically, if you're getting it at 60k, you receive a 40k profit for that. And if you're selling 7 of them, that gives you 280k profit, which is absolutely a perfect money, and you can try to sell more of them and more for more money if you really wanted. Let's see the other two. The surge one, it's 82k, which is not that bad profit. It's 22k for a profit. It's absolutely good if you wanted to sell them. I don't know how many people actually want that. Maybe some of the people need some surge, but well, I'm not quite sure for that, to be perfectly honest. But I'm perfectly honest about the last one, is accuracy. I forgot how to write that shit. Accuracy, sorry about that. So the accuracy is an 88k profit, which it gives you 28k if you're selling it. So that means if you're selling 7 of them, you receive 28k for 1, but if you're selling 7 of them, that gives you almost 200k credits, which is a really decent price for 7 of them. Some of the people need accuracy because in their gear don't have much of an accuracy, So try to craft some of those if you're an armor stack and trying to sell that. Alright, let's talk about another crafting skill. Let's talk about cyber tech. Cyber tech is both easy, both hard, and all you need to do there is patience. You still can do the MK9 stuff there if you have underworld trading and stuff like that. And but also you can learn from raids or other if you have combinations and stuff like that, you can learn from that as well, because the cyber tech can craft armorings, mods, and earpieces. The armorings and the mods definitely worth to selling it if you have some of them. For example, for me, I have a Might Armoring 34 skill. Might Armoring 34, which is a really decent money if you can get it. If you're buying all the materials, buying all the stuffs, that gives you almost 600k profit, as you can see, because you're buying the mats for 1.9 million and you're selling it for 2.5 million credits. And if you have some of the materials, for example, you can buy the vials, because that's one of the easiest one, or go to flashpoints and operations to get the mass manipulator and the exotic element equalizer. That's even less profit, less credits you need to put on, and that gives you more profit. For example, I'm gonna do the vials isotope 5 because those are the easiest to receive. If you have 8 of those, and you need to buy the other materials, which is 1.1 million credits, and if you buy the vials for basic combinations or anywhere else you receive it, crafting one of the Might Armorings and selling it, and if you sold it, that gives you almost 1.5 million credits, 1.4 exactly, 1.4 million credits for profit. So that's really good, really good money. All you need to do is get patience, check the GTN, check the price, and be the last one. Also, if you want to get more of these, you have more, you can get mods as well. The mods have a really good price as well. I'm gonna show you, for example, the Deft mod 34. Oops, I wrote it wrong. So the Deft mod 34, it's actually 2.2 million credits, which is also, if you don't have vials, that gives you almost 300k profit. And if you have vials, or even more, but I'm talking about the vials right now, that gives you over 1.3 million credits profit, which is absolutely insane, and that's how you can get rich in a really easy way. But first, I'm gonna be warning you guys, before you getting these death mods and Might Armorings and anything else, you need to get yourself the gear. Not selling it first, get yourself the gear, because you probably, if you're going more nightmare modes, and another nightmare mode, Death Palace is coming up really soon, you need the gear for that. So first of all, get yourself the gear. And second of all, let's talk about the earpieces right now, because the earpieces have a really good price as well. If you have the time and the effort, and maybe get some of the earpieces, that's a really good money as well. It's actually a really good. For example, the Dreadforge ones, it's 5 million. One of these Dreadforges is 5 million credits, and it's definitely worth the buy, because if you're a crafter, you can actually, if some of them have the mats, you can get at least 500 or 400k fee for that. And if you want to just sell it, try not to sell it for 4 million, because that's a lot of money, and probably no one is gonna buy that. Try to selling it at least 3 million. That's a really good price at the beginning. Trying to sell it until some of you undercut you, probably someone will, but you need to get patience on the GTM, because if you're a cyber tech, if you're a raider, or get some of the ultimate combinations for story, or even some of the operations or flashpoints, and have yourself your gear, after that you can get one of these earpieces and trying to sell it, because it's a really good money. If you're a cyber tech, there's that two ways: the MK9s for small money, but if you have the time and effort, get some of the armorings or mods or the earpieces for raids or ultimate combinations, because you can get a lot of money for that, and you can be a really good famous crafter if you're selling it for good fee, crafting fee. Let's talk about the last one, my favorite one, Artifice. That was the first skill what I learned, because this is my main character. All you need here is archaeology and treasure hunting. On this note, basically there is only one way you can craft. Okay, there's a lot of ways. I'm gonna show you. For example, the crystals. Some of the old crystals, you can learn it and you can sell it if you want it. It gives you a decent money if you have some of them, but let's talk about the other two things what I really love. For example, the enhancements. There's a lot, seriously, a lot of enhancements in the game you can craft. There is tons of enhancements you can craft, and if you learn some of the really good ones, you can get a decent, really decent money. But also you need to be careful for them, because I'm gonna show you the same way as the arm stack one. For example, I have this Adept 34 enhancement. I don't have the mats for that right now. If I want, I can buy it for myself and crafting it, but it's not worth it. I have only 2 exotic elements, but that's not worth it. I'm gonna show you why. It's the same way as the arm stack, by the way. So the adapt enhancements here is basically not much of a profit what it gives you. Here it's 1.9 million credits. If you buying all the materials and crafting it and trying to selling it, that's just 1.9 million, and you receive the less, so 74 or 75k profit, which is actually not worth it, because you're actually not gonna receive it. You're not gonna receive it, because even if you're selling it, the GTM removes some of the money. That's probably 100k plus, so it gives you only 1.8 million, which is you get minus 100k credits. But if, for example, I'm talking about the vials, of course, if you have the vials, the vial isotope 5s, that's 1.1 million you put it in, and you can selling it, and that's 800k profit, which is a hilarious one. It's a really good one. But let's talk about my favorite, which I have one right here, the Resolve Hill 34. I learned that as well for myself. I'm gonna show, basically I learned it from here, and I have some of this. Basically, as you can see now, I'm fighting for the first place, but to be perfectly honest, I don't care too much. On this note, the Resolve Hills and everything else needs the same materials except the main small ones, the material 9s. You need to get 8 exotic elements, 8 isotope, and 2 mass manipulator. And if you're trying to selling this is actually not that bad, because if you're buying yourself, that's 1.8 between 9 million, and you have the chance to get at least, I don't know, a 50k, 60k profit, which is also a decent one. But you can get a hilarious amount of credits if you're trying to selling it and have vial isotope 5s. That gives you almost 800k credit profit, which is hilarious, awesome, and you can get shitload of rich money for that. And trust me, there is someone who buying these. there is someone. I sold it some of them, at least 2 of them. But if you don't have much luck on the GTN, all you need to do is just advertise yourself, even in the forums or here on your server, right in the general chat, not like spamming all the time, but try to be patient. Advertise yourself sometimes to wanna sell. I'm gonna show you how I advertise myself. Wanna sell / wanna craft, Resolve Hill 24, and of course much cheaper than the GTN, because that's everyone is going much cheaper than GTN price, and got one ready, which is a lot of people needing it. That's how I advertise myself. If you have more mats, or I mean not materials, if you have some of the things you need to learn and stuff like that, all you need to do is just to be patient, put all of these on that note, not like this, like 300 times in a row, but for example, adapt, might, and also some of the things you can craft. Try advertise yourself and sell at least 200 or 300k lesser than the GTM price, and you could get some profit for that as well. And if some of them wants you to craft, then that's basically another easy one. You can sell it like 200 and 250k, between 300k free, which is a decent one, and that's how you can get easily money for that, for the hilts and the enhancements. And there is another thing, I didn't show it. I don't know the other thing who can get. As you can see, I have a shitload of these for the stabilizer. There is someone. I want to buy one. I'm gonna talk to that guy later, but for now, there is one thing you can still craft, but it not gives you too much money now, is the relics. And also some of the dyes. The relics is actually humongous for here on this server. So let's see the relics. The relics is one of the hardest thing you can get here. Basically, it's shitload of price, as you can see. Really a lot price. For example, this 5 million. It's the same goes to the earpieces as well. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Try not to sell at least 5 million. No one is gonna buy that. Or maybe just some of them really rare ones. But the price is going down now a little bit at least. But it's still 5 million. The Dreadforged relics is, some of them are 3 million, which is a good one. Some of them are 2 million. Some of them are 5 million. If you have the time and effort to learn these relics, it gives you a decent money price, but it's a really hard thing to get this, and a really hard thing to get the materials, I mean the schematics for these, so it's a lot of time and effort. So first of all, you need to get yourself your gear, and after that try to learn it and get some of the money if you want. And also last thing, what I want to talk about is the dyes and the Gourmet thing. Some of the people, I don't know, still going to the Nightmare Pilgrim. Back in the day, this alpha variant inhibitor is worth a lot of money. But for now, I don't know, to be perfectly honest, how much is this. If you want, you can try to keep selling it, but I don't think that's much. But these are some of the things you can really easily get. These from, if you have some of the old mats back in the day, you can craft some of the dyes and stuff like that, and that's it. So yeah, that was my little tutorial how to get rich on crafting wise. I showed you all of the stuffs, all of the crafting skills, all of the things. This is my opinions and this is my server theory. I'm not gonna tell you ever again. But for now, that was it. The next video, I'm gonna show you the cartel market ways, how to get rich on that. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, share your favorite, do the fun stuffs, or subscribe. And if you want me to craft you some of the things, I'm on Tomb of Freedom Nad, and feel free to ask me, mail me on this character called Appler. So anyway, see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.